Hey everybody, it's Matt Powers. I am a teacher, author, gardener, seed saver, and family guy, and I teach people all over the world how to live more regeneratively. Today we're talking on New Year's Day, January 1st. We're talking about the 10 keys to a regenerative 2018. And so I had the introduction on that first part. Now we're going to get right into what these keys are. Number one key is get into your best holistic health that you've ever been in. This is the year to make it happen. Get in your best mental, physical, emotional, and get there so that you can serve other people at your highest level, so that you can get the things that you deserve too. It's all holistically part of that picture, so dive in. And some of you, that may mean taking more time off, that may mean waking up early, may mean going to bed earlier, may mean not looking at your phone, you know what I mean? It may mean all these different things for you. And then number two, we need to compost everything we can. We need to slow down and stop all the things that we're consuming that are creating negative forms of waste. And we need to do that personally, because guess what? We are the people buying all this stuff. All the problems that we're having in the world, we're buying into it. And we just need to start buying into better options. We just need to start buying into things that compost. Even our clothes, we gotta buy things that actually travel. And so we need to tell Costco and other stores, it's like we want our stuff without packaging. We wanna leave all that plastic behind. So we need to up it up. We need to, express ourselves, and we need to vote with our dollars. And then we need to grow as much as we can in that process. So use that compost, start growing food, and it becomes this cycle of where you start taking over more and more. Once you start composting, it empowers you. All right, and then number three, we need to learn skills, new skills and experiences, and we need to do it. We're not gonna go to a teacher, we are going to teach ourselves. We're gonna put ourselves out there. We're gonna do those things that are on us. Because there's a special kind of competence that comes when you are the one doing it. When it's not, when it's not someone you're learning from, when it's not your coach, when it's coming from internally. When you're a self-teacher, a different kind of discipline, different kind of confidence comes with it. And it's something you don't want to leave behind. All right, then we want to read new books and get more education. It dovetails with that, right? But we want to learn from other people, learn other people's perspectives, dive into something like Darren Doherty's Rex, learn his methodology. And then you can apply that, mix it, all these different things. But once we exercise both these muscles, it makes us teachable, and then it makes us really good self-teachers. And so when we're teachable, we actually supercharge that by being better self-teachers. There's a relationship between the two, and when we consciously work on them independently, they help each other. All right, we need to start to get off the grid. And that may mean for you solar panels, that could mean just getting a generator for when the power goes out. That may mean seed saving. It may mean having a food storage. It may mean, having a water storage. All these different things will make you more resilient, make you more capable of being off the grid. And the real future is us becoming the generators for the grid, so that all of our homes generate power, and they generate microgrids, so our neighborhoods and our own sites are all powered by our own sites' energy inputs. So that's the future, really, is us generating power, becoming the grid, becoming generators rather than consumers. All right, so getting off the grid as best you can. And then buy seed in bulk. This is another key to 2008 to be regenerative. Buy seed in bulk and make a plan around it. Don't just willy-nilly buy things. Make a plan that you'll have where you'll seed save, you'll preserve the food, it'll be part of your diet, and it will fit in your garden and in your house. So that, this is why I chose amaranth and sorghum, because they're things I could do at home, things I could grind myself. And so I had this plan, to scale up, and it all started with a seed pack each. And it was one plant of amaranth, it was one successful plant the first year. And within 3 years, it was like I had gallons. Same thing with sorghum, except faster. I had 6 plants. And sorghum, I thought it gave you 1 head or 2 heads. No. It gives you 3 to 5 heads. It's amazing. So yeah, I was able to really scale up, and it was part of my plan. I was like, okay, well, we want to be gluten free. We want it to be able to be processed at home so that I can clean the seed and also turn it into food. Because a lot of people can clean the seed, but then they can't get that outer coating off or something like that to get to the next stage so that they can eat it or turn it into flour. But these things, a lot of the smaller grains are really good for that. So it was part of my plan. I did it. It was awesome, and I scaled up, and it was this wonderful thing, and had all these other side benefits that we've talked about in other videos. But that was part of my plan, and that plan is part of what we do in permaculture gardening. This new course that we're launching January 8th. It's the live version of my most popular course, and it's only $97. You should check it out. All right, and then the next key is regeneratively connect to your community, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your friends at church or at temple. Connect to them, talk to them, and figure out, what, like, have the regenerative conversation with them and figure out what they're into. Because a lot of them will be like, wow, I could really save money if I had those solar panels. You know what I mean? But they cost so much. Or, you know what I mean? Or, and you know what? I mean, the reality is we're all going to have this conversation. We're all having these conversations. We're all watching these memes. We're all watching these videos. And once you start having this regenerative conversation with your community, people start waking up and saying, yes, 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 yes. And they all have different, like, parts of the spectrum. That's why I was talking the spectrum about permaculture and regeneration. Because you might be a people person, or you might be the person that loves knitting. You can regeneratively knit. You might be the cat person. You might be it doesn't matter what character you are. There's a regenerative placement and context for that and that desire. It's all good. So we have to connect to our community and show them how. Give them an actual, model or path to follow. And that's on us, because we know. Because we get access to that information. And if you don't, you should go to my website, thepermaculturestudent.com. I've got textbooks on there that are free to download as ebooks that have more information gathered than any textbook I've ever seen for permaculture yet released. And hopefully that's going to change. Hopefully we get all these textbooks now that are peer reviewed, that are peer edited, that are created with, teams, large teams of people, and I was doing it, and then Eric Tonesmeyer carbon farming solution came out, and he's got teams of people too. And so it's like, this is happening. It's really happening. We've got to start, and the reason I was doing what I did when it was citing it all was because that's what Eric Tonesmeyer was doing, and that's what Dave Jackie was doing, and that's what Bill did. And it was this chain of different authors that I followed, and we're all academics, we're all people who are teachers, real teachers, and professionally. And so we followed the same track. Anyway, that's off track. But we need to connect to our community, and that's what I did. I followed the pattern of my community and then asked them and got feedback from them and, praised them for the things that they did and the things that they were doing, and showed them how I was interpreting and understanding it. And that's, this conversation. I had the regenerative conversation with them. And if we just start having this with everyone we meet, we'll start opening so many doors. I have a student, Chris Black, who has just opened up so many doors in Yelm. He just keeps going around talking about permaculture and excitement and enthusiasm, and they just keep giving him things. They're like, here's a community garden. Here, we want you to do this. Help us with this. And he's just boom, boom, and he just gets pulled in. He's enthusiastic, he's got real solutions, and he's pragmatic about it all. So, you know what I mean? And he connects to people on their level. He's like, what are you doing? Wow, that's amazing. Do you know that I learned about that in this course, and you're totally doing the same thing? And he's just honoring people where they're at and showing them how they have great desires. They have regenerative thoughts, ideas, feelings, good things. We all do. And so finding those connection points between people, whether they're, the person who loves knitting or the person who loves the local library, it doesn't matter. They're all part of the same solution. They're all there to help us. All right, so connect to them. Now, number 9, create a budget for your regenerative projects. Now, I didn't do this at first, and I always had like this like desire to get things, and I always pined, and like I'd look at things and be like upset with myself, or like I would feel like I was fighting myself or something. And then I just saw it as like tithing to my future. I saw it as return of surplus. I saw it as my fair share to my children. And so it became my care of future. And so I started cutting $100 to $150 out of every month's budget when I was a school teacher, and I put it into regenerative projects. So I would buy seed, I would buy trees, and so because there was a budget, and this next part is critical, because there was a plan, because I had my seed saving, diet, planting, food preservation plan, and then I had, a budget, and then here's, you probably can guess, what's the last one, right? The 10th? Well, the 10th one is put it on the calendar. So you made a plan, you made a budget, and then you put it on a calendar. And because you did that, you calendared your harvest times, your planting times, your first and last day of frost. And because you did that, what's going to happen is it's going to actually show up on your to-do list that week. You're going to go, you're going to see it on the calendar, you go, right, it's the time to do that. Good thing I prepared with my winter garden, and it's just easy to move in and do my thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the last video. And so you've got your calendar, your deadlines, everything's moving smoothly, you're ready, you're like, all right, yeah, I can carve out an hour to do this. I can plant. And then you get it done. Because you gave yourself notice, you prepared yourself, and it was part of your plan, not just that week, but part of your year, part of your diet, part of your site, part of your family, part of your community, part of your conversation, your daily life with everyone you meet. In that moment, it all reinforces and has you actually follow through and do it. So those are 10 keys to a regenerative 2018. And there are things that I'm doing too. Like I said in part 1, I'm setting up from scratch. I'm here in Washington. There's nothing on this site. There's like, trash and debris we're pulling out and stuff like glass and metal, from a previous like tenant and stuff. We're cleaning up the site. We're designing it to be this amazing experience where you go and see what's possible in the Pacific Northwest from a native perspective. You get to see the history, the rich cultural, traditions that are interlaced and, implicit in these plants. These plants were selected. These plants were highly selected. The Pacific Northwest is an indigenous masterpiece in so many ways. So we want to showcase that, right? You start on the right foot, right? Ultimate permaculture is indigenous cultures that are regenerative. Or, and almost all indigenous cultures have serious regenerative, amazing things. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. We're just talking about the Pacific Northwest here because that's where the site is. And so all the way around here, the first step you take is you go through the natives. And then you come down here, and then it's a mix of non-native and native, showing how it is, it's entropic, it's harmonious, it's awesome, so people don't feel like they need to make this like clear delineation between the two. And then you come around, because this is actually around the house, this is what I'm showing you. And then you go down, and it's actual, and then here, right here, it's an actual garden in the middle of it. And then the upper slope, I'm gonna have a rainbow of berries, and then I'm gonna have perennials, and then I'm going to have a hardy garden, and then I'm going to have a tender garden, and then I'm going to have tender perennials, and then I'm going to have the hardy Okay, and we're back? Yeah, we're back. All right, I wanted to make sure. Because last time it didn't do it, remember? It cut us off. All right, and so the berries, the hardy annual, the sensitive annual, sensitive perennials, and then hardy mixed perennial annual on the lower end, and then it's my living fence that goes all the way around. Because all of this site's really cool. All of this from here over is 40 acres of wilderness, and it's all protected, no houses. There's a house over there, but this plot here, and then boom, all the way down, and it's all like a watershed. It's a fascinating site. It's a really fun site that we're so privileged to have the honor of helping Jamie Owens, Earthship Seattle, Mo Henry, his wonderful family, and Erica and Amanda. All these amazing people on this site are working together to make this an experience that people in Seattle can come out and check out and have an amazing time at, and learn something critical about how they can interact positively with their surroundings. So, no matter where you are or what you're doing, you can make this happen this year. You can start on the regeneration. You can pick some of these keys. You can start somewhere within these keys and make a huge difference. You can make it happen. This is the year of regenerative organic certification. This is the year where people are going to really start hearing that word regenerative, beyond organic, beyond sustainable. And now we are the ones, you are the ones, you get to tell everyone, well, I know what that means. And you get to dive in that moment and be gracious and share with people the hope, the inspiration, the amazing good news that we can regenerate our planet, we can regenerate our world. It can be a joy to do, and it is going to be beautiful, and it's going to happen, and you're part of it. And it's stuff you already love, right? You're going to show that connection, right? So for me, for the permaculturestudent.com, coming up in 2018, we got some pretty incredible things. We've got the Regenerative Career Guide, which is going to go to guidance counselors' offices. The idea is that students who are graduating can see the career paths that lead to regenerative, ethical careers, so that they can, honor themselves, honor their community, honor the earth, and make a living. And then we have the Advanced Permaculture Student Online starting in April. And then we have the Permaculture Student 2 workbook and the Teacher's Guide. These are both coming out just at the same time, and they're all part of that same Kickstarter. And then we have the Forgotten Food Forest with the Sayo Kubo. And she has worked for Disney for years. You guys have seen her work if you watch TV and seen any of the Disney shows. She is absolutely a stunning artist. And it's been years of work that she's invested in this book. It's about a real Moroccan food forest. It's stunning. I've got all the pictures. I just got sent all the pictures, and now we're talking about different ways to set it up, because it's got to be gorgeous. It's got to be classic. I mean, there's no way that I can do anything less than the ultimate for the amount of work that she's put into this. And it is so incredible. I mean, it's the story of two brothers who, fooling around. They get separated from their family, and a sandstorm comes in, and they get lost. They find themselves at the edge of a food forest. They're hungry, they're thirsty, and the food forest, provides. And there's other things that happen, right? That's not just it, but it's pretty amazing. It honors the Barbary lions. These are the national animal of Morocco. This is the lions that the Romans, they made, they were fundamental and part of making extinct, because that was the lions they fed Christians to. The savanna of North Africa wasn't the Sahara Desert. It was a vibrant savanna. And, just like Alan Savory tells us, you remove those large animals and you create desertification. And that's what happened with the Roman Empire. And that's what, they destroyed that. They desertified huge parts of Europe because they were removing so much soil. And that's why they relied up on Egypt for their sustenance. But anyway, it's really about these Barbary lions, about how they're this, this sub-story. So they're in there. They have this encounter. The boys, have this encounter. They make fire and scare the lions off. But these lions... All right, sweet. We're still here. Ha! It's just, I keep getting interrupted. But these lions are, they're a keystone species that was removed. And just like these food forests, they could be everywhere. Just like wildness and nature could once again be everywhere. And we need to keep, these stories of these extinct animals that were so critical, to these areas and to our history. We need to keep them in mind and keep these stories alive so that they remind us of what we could lose, what could continue to happen, and what we could have too as well, right? That's why I designed the book, so that it can be for 4th and 5th graders. Initially, it's like a historical fiction book, so that we can get it into schools. And then, the sky's the limit from there. we can turn it into a cartoon. I mean, she is an animator. She works with teams of animators. So we could turn it into a full-blown cartoon or a movie or... Yes. So yeah, that's happening. Then the Permaculture Student 2 audiobook's going to get recorded. Then all the translations I have backlogged, I'm going to take care of, I promise. And then there's even more books because I'm not just, a writer. I'm a writing coach. I work as a consultant and I'm helping people create new courses. Amazing new books. Just amazing. I'm so privileged and honored to be the conduit for some of these stories. And I always try to be a transparent conduit. I'm not a ghostwriter. I want these people to train them to help to conduct their story perfectly. So I'm really their editor and coach, and they turn into writers in the process of working with me. So I'm super excited. I'm so excited because the thing is, these stories have to be told. They're incredible stories. So those are happening. So get ready for an incredible 2018. Let's lead this regenerative leap into an abundant future. Let's show people what's possible. The conversation's going to come to you, okay? Regenerative organic, is happening right now. So they're going to be saying the word around you. So now you can prepare. You can think about how you'll talk about it, how excited you're going to get, and you're going to bring that hope and inspiration so that we can really spread this fast. And this year can be the year that people leave organic behind, embrace regenerative organic, and we cause a huge sea change in the market. It's going to happen. Grow abundantly, learn daily, and live regeneratively. I'm Matt Powers. Have an amazing new year.